后呢，大家可以从自己的座位上就行3个问讯礼，然后呢，Elaine就来请法。来 ，First bow, second bow, third bow. Okay, Elaine, if you would like to request Dharma, please go ahead and do it now.
恭请大德圣听，为此法会及一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死，离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly will lie non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye olahori samyao samputoshi.
Namo saranto sujedoye erlahadi samyao samputoshi.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. Now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. Alrighty, Elaine, we appreciate the Dharma request. Thank you for that. And we're going to continue to invoke the spiritual presence of the Avatamsaka Assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, as well as the gods and the dragons and the Eightfold Pantheon of spiritual Dharma protectors. And when they arrive, they bring with them bright light, and they are generous in sending that light out to all of us. 就说我们继续迎请华严海会佛菩萨还有天龙八部护法上身，请他们来参加我们的法会，祝福各位啊。他们来的时候带领这个清净的光明啊，那么收到这个光明，这个恶业就消除了，善根增长。好，来。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海佛菩萨，南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨，南无大方广佛华严经。 Furthermore, we would like to respectfully acknowledge the Pomo people who practice their spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation here in their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years, and we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 就说我们恭敬地承认 Pomo 人是我们寺院所在地的传统叙事者和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬，并且也向所有从来没有放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。Bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000界内，佛法扬万亿国中，共寻其法界和平，以一报他能厚德。Indeed, indeed. Okay, here we are. Welcome again, everybody. Glad that you're here with us. We got some announcements today. One is that this will be my last Sunday lecture from here at the Gold Coast Dharma Realm. I'm going to be returning to California in the middle of this week. So I will be, for those of you who join online, you won't know any difference. Right? And as the opportunity arises, I may be in person at CTDB, but in any case, whether I'm lecturing physically from Berkeley or from Ukiah, I will be back in the U.S. So 就说有一些事情要报告。我本人这个星期四就是美国星期三，那就是8号这里的8号要从澳大利亚出发，就经过台北，然后到达旧金山，9号就到了。从那个时候开始，我们这个十回向品的佛学讲座就从美国就直播或者人在 Berkeley 或者在万福城就一样了，就继续讲解研究第8回向，有机会就亲自到万福城去。如果是上网来参加就没关系了，一样的OK， 好，let's see here. Another is let's see. Welcome. I see all the good Dharma friends who are here for our Sunday night lecture on the sutra. I'm really happy to get the opportunity to join with you regularly to experience the sutra. It's a pleasure, and it's nice to, because we have this series, people kind of know what to expect from me, and as a result, I can regularly, what do they say, swing for the fences? Is that the right idiom? I can regularly explore different ways of explaining these parts of the sutra, especially because we're adding to it recently the translation by Bhikshu Heng Sure, Dharma Mitra, Kalavinka Press. So we have another voice in the work of translating the sutra and Master Hua's commentary into English. So glad you're here. Welcome. 特别欢迎每一位就每个礼拜 参加我们的十回商品的佛学讲座，因为翻译我们一方面就是要转法轮，另一方面呢，我们是翻译，把这个中文的经文翻译英文。我们现在加上这个恒寿法师，他的笔名叫 Kalavinka Dharma Mitra，他也把整个华严经从头到尾把它翻译英文出版，所以我们就用他这个本子加上我们网上这个本子来翻译，让大家尤其欢喜听英语的这个经书都可以有稍微不同的味道，一个滋味就稍微不同的方向，很有趣的更就说更圆满，更有营养，我们的法身慧命都会吃得饱饱这样子。Okay, another thing I would like to bring to everyone's attention. Yeah, you can see what's coming up today. Because the 10,000 Buddhas repentance is finished, so we're going to go back to full-time Avatamsaka. But I also wanted to let people know in advance, if you have an opportunity to travel to Ukiah, we need, I hope the website puts the dates up here, front and center. We got to have the dates. Here it is, May 17th. That date should be bigger. May 17th, coming up in a couple weeks. May 17th, from 10 to 3, CTTB is going to host this wonderful event called Ukiah Valley Book Fair. There's going to be readings of books. There will be lion dance performances. There will be taiko drumming. There will be Chinese fan dance. There will be coloring books, Chinese calligraphy, tours of City of 10,000 Buddhas, book reading schedule, and booth numbers and authors of children's books. So there will be chances to buy books and food and wonderful things happening. Here's the full list of the participants. It's going to be a very exciting event. Look at all these authors who are rallying to CTTB, maybe their first visit to a Buddhist monastery, coming to share their love of good literature. What a wonderful thing this is going to be. Sadly, I won't be able to be there. I've got a commitment down in Santa Cruz, but this is just so exciting to have all these fantastic children's authors here sharing their vision with all of us. The Ukiah Valley Fire Authority is going to show up. The Ukiah Natural Foods Co-op is going to be there. This is going to be tremendous event. So just to let people know again, it is the 17th of are we in May? Yes, 17th of May. So 2 weeks from now. Here it is right here. Ukiah Valley Kids Book Fair. I suspect this is going to be a big hit, and probably people are going to want to do this again. I think this might be the first of many such events. All right, just to let you know about that. Okay, there we go. All righty. So we've had our Dharma request, we've had our invocation. Time now to turn to the sutra. Here we are, right here. We have 9 more true suchnesses. We've gone through 91 of them. And this is the real heart of the 8th transference. 我们我没翻译对不起，我再来一次sorry， 我忘了给大家翻译。这什么呢？就说我们女众法师们安排在万佛城那个5月17号有一个书展， 请了很多很多写孩子的书籍的作家，就要到万佛城来17号从早上10点到下午3点，就展览他们的书啊，他们的画的画还有很多这个我们圣城的这个南校的这个狮子舞，还有龙舞，还有抬大鼓还有女众呢，他们的都会跳舞fan dance 可以练习书法可以走走万佛圣城，看看我们的校园。我发一个语言了哈，我在想哈，这个活动会非常受欢迎这个是 Ukiah Valley 整个那个这个 Ukiah 的喜欢儿童书籍善书的人都会争先恐后来参加。OK，大家你们想知道多一点等一等，把这个 Here we go， 我把这个网站放进去。OK， 你们看那个chat box， 你们可以找到多一点。Okay, it says my voice is kind of low. Is that right? Maybe it's lack of chi. Haven't eaten for a while. So let me put this together. I'll put my microphone closer and see if that helps. That a little better? Hope so. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. 好的. Okay, we've got 9 more of our 真如 examples. Should we start? Here we go. Let's begin. 譬如真如与一切法无所希求，善根回向亦复如是，令诸众生成普贤乘，成普贤圣而得出离，与一切法无所贪求。Just as true suchness is free from expectations with regard to phenomena, so too are bodhisattvas' dedication of good roots, in that enabling all beings to attain transcendence by means of Samantabhadra's vehicle, they no longer seek anything with regard to phenomena. How do you keep them down on the farm after they've seen Wanpochang, right? After they've seen Pari. That's the idea. Our Dharma brother says, just as true suchness has nothing it seeks in any dharmas, so too it is with their dedications of roots of goodness, for they enable all beings to enter the vehicle of Samantabhadra and gain the emancipation by which they become free of any craving for anything at all. Yes, indeed. Once you've, as they say, I'll bet there is a Chinese idiom that is the same. It's, what do they say? How do you keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paris, Paris? There we go. Thank you. Okay, my Ling Feng, Yihuan, anybody who's got that love of Chengyu, can you find a Chinese Chengyu to match that? The idea is when you've seen Paris, your tastes are change, and you're no longer satisfied with the same old friendly. You could also say it incites your greed, but the idiom in English is, how do you keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paris, right? So same, here it is here. Once you have, how does it go? Once you get free using Samantabhadra's practices and vows, the liberation of Puxian Heng, Ru Puxian, Ru Bu Si Yi Jie To Jing Jie Puxian Heng Yan Pin, right? That's the title of chapter 40 of the Avatamsaka, the incredible liberation of Samantabhadra's practices and vows. So once you have done that, you no longer seek anything with regard to phenomena. Once you've experienced the liberation of the Avatamsaka's core cultivation, which is Samantabhadra's practice, nothing else in the world has any appeal to you at all. You've seen the best. That's actually not so. Now that I think of it, that idiom doesn't really work because that idiom is designed, it says, once your greed is triggered, right? Okay. 增经沧海难为水. Oh. 增经沧海难为水. Once you have been, oh, that's it. Beautiful. That's it. Exactly. I'm going to copy that one down and use it later myself. Let's see here. Where's the notes? Here are my notes. Okay. 增经沧海难为水. Excellent. That's just what I was looking for. So, yeah, you've it's hard to be simply water after you've been part of the great ocean. Exactly. So, this is it doesn't, the idiom is correct for what I asked for, but it doesn't actually fit our case, come to think of it. Our case is that once you've experienced the liberation of Samantabhadra's vehicle, the 10 vows, you don't need anything else in the world. It's not that it triggers your greed, it's just you're satisfied. You are completely satisfied. 怎么说呢？就说这个你一成这个普贤圣，就说华严经第40品叫什么？入不思议解脱境界普贤恒愿品那个这个愿呢，譬如真如怎么样呢？无所祈求，于一切法。真如就是这个，你知道真如，你证得真如之后，你无论怎么样，无论如何，你没有任何的世间法也可以引起你的贪心、你的求心，无所求，你已经饱满足满意了。像跟回向菩萨回向功德一样了，令诸众生怎么样？成普贤恒的处理以后，于一切法无所贪求。然后我说，英文有一个成语叫 "How do you keep them down on the farm after they've seen Pari?" 你看到巴黎之后，法国巴黎，你就很难满意，还是住上下，那个因为看到那种le son et la lumière 那个声音还有那个光明，以后没有任何法可以跟巴黎就比较。然后林峰给我那个how does it go？ 增经沧海难为水，英文的那个中文其实那个不配的，那不是那个意思。那个成语就说你属于大海之后，做普普通通的水底就不愿意了你就会想念那个大海的解脱，那个伟大。那就说你的贪心会引起贪心，有所求。其实这个愿就是无所求，所以那个要讲清楚。我本来说错。Okay, number 2, ready. That's interesting, isn't it? That we got it's the opposite of the idiom. It's not that you have this eternal longing for Paris after you've lived in central Ukiah, right? Ukiah Valley. No, it's not that. It's that once you've been liberated by Samantabhadra's vehicle, you don't need anything else. You are entirely content and satisfied. 譬如真如住一切地，善根回向亦复如是，令一切众生舍世间地，住智慧地，以普贤恒而自庄严。Just as true suchness abides on all grounds, so too does Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots, in that it leads all living beings to renounce the worldly ground, abide on the wisdom ground, and adorn themselves with Samantabhadra's practices. Okay, and Heng Sure says, just as true suchness abides on all grounds, so too it is with dedication of roots of goodness, for they enable all beings to abandon all worldly grounds, dwell on the wisdom grounds, and adorn themselves with the practices of Samantabhadra. Okay, pretty much identical. Except I'm going to say stages. Abides on all grounds. What kind of grounds? Like grassy grounds and woody grounds and orchard grounds and garden grounds? No, it's not grounds. It's not earth. It's stages. So renounce the worldly stages of the world that promise happiness and never deliver. Abide on the stage of wisdom. It's talking about like grades in school. You're a high school student, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, like that. That's the stages. Then you graduate, then you go on to higher education, right? 把这个地字翻译grounds， 我觉得现在我们有更恰当的字，就 stage 就说地阶阶级不同阶级。你是高中1、2、3、4，然后高中毕业，你就可以读大学，然后大学毕业之后可以去研究院，那是不是 ground 是说地，好像地球的地空地森林地那个菜铺是另外一种地 ，right？ 不对，不是 ground， 应该是 stage。Okay, moving on here. Ready. 譬如真如无有断绝，善根回向亦复如是，于一切法得无所谓，随其类因，处处演说，无有断绝。Just as true suchness is uninterrupted, so too are bodhisattvas' dedication of good roots, in that they are fearless with regard to all dharma, ceaselessly teaching everywhere, in whatever language is appropriate. We're letting that helicopter fly by. There we go. So true suchness is uninterrupted. So too, when bodhisattvas dedicate good roots, they are fearless with regard to all dharma, ceaselessly teaching everywhere in whatever language is appropriate. So what kind of situation would it be that they would be afraid? This probably needs interpretation. You could say walking into a synagogue and preaching that Jesus alone is the only way that we can be saved. Walking into a Mormon temple and crossing your legs to meditate and chanting the name of Amitabha, both would be inappropriate. So fearlessness is balanced by wisdom. This is not saying that you crash parties and demand that people believe in the Buddha. That's not the way to do it. It's not done that way. It's done, there are, in our 100 true suchness examples, metaphors here, analogies, that is, there are many, I haven't counted, I should go back and count, how many refer to speaking, to the power of speech and how bodhisattvas use appropriate speech in order to teach Dharma as they can. Simple truth of this is that bodhisattvas depend on, so let's say, start again. Bodhisattvas make vows and they have to continue until their vows are accomplished. The vows are to get beings to wake up to the Dharma and start to cultivate on their own. whatever works to do that job, they will do. So to stop teaching means their own bodhisattva's own liberation is delayed and postponed until they can continue to help beings wake up. So it's that. And if you insist that your way of speaking has to be obeyed and people have to believe in you, the way they have to agree with you, which is a kind of a evangelical way of preaching, saving souls, if it doesn't work, if it turns people off and it repels them, you have not gotten closer to your vow. So the bodhisattvas teach as the moment, as the opportunity arises, and that is being fearless with regard to dharmas. Ceaselessly teaching everywhere as is appropriate in whatever language works. Sometimes silence might be the language. 就说菩萨是怎么一回事呢？他们是就跟着愿，他们自己的誓愿，他们才成为菩萨。去是他们的恒愿，他们的愿求，他们的修行的方法。如果他们讲话呢，就说传法讲法不对机的话，那会阻碍他们成佛，他们的愿就圆满了。所以我们不是看就到一个犹太教的地方，就叫他们一定要接受耶稣是他们的恩人，都才能跟着耶稣才能得救的。一些犹太教人，他们说对不起，你可能这里没有人接受那个道理。你如果到一个伊斯兰教的这个mosque， 然后开始念佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，他们都会觉得你是不懂事情的人呢，可能不接受你的话，你的精神就浪费了，这种努力就不对机的。所以菩萨才不会这样子，他会知道时间，知道根基，知道机会，然后呢随机斗教，因病下药，他会这样子那他的愿力就会尽量快就成功。Okay, so let's see here. What have we got? What have I got here to read? He says, just as true suchness is never cut off, so too it is with their dedication of roots of goodness, for they enable beings to gain fearlessness in all dharmas, adapt to the speech of all classes of beings, and ceaselessly expound on the dharma in place after place. Sounds good, doesn't it? I really should count the number of within these 100 true suchnesses, how many refer to speech and teaching. 应该数一数，有100个譬如真如的比喻，有多少是提到语言、声音、文字？很多很多很多，因为是第八回向理菩萨所用的这个方法度众生。楞严经就说此度真教体清净在因文。The the Shurangama Sutra says, sound is the substance of the teachings in this land, right? So we use the returning the hearing to accomplish the Buddha's vows. Okay. Next. Here we are. 譬如真如舍利诸漏，善根回向亦复如是，令一切众生成就说错了，成就法智，了达于法圆满菩提无漏功德。Just as true suchness is free from outflows, so too are bodhisattvas' dedication of good roots, in that they enable all living beings to realize the Dharma wisdom that understands all phenomena, and thereby perfect bodhi, the merit free of outflows. Boy, this is complex, isn't it? Complex is to say many pieces coming together. true suchness is free from outflows. Okay. So this is a really complex, no, it's not complex. This is absolutely a Buddhist terminology. This is a Buddhist code for, there's a principle behind it, which is fundamentally, every one of us comes into a body replete with everything we need to become a Buddha, but lacking the knowledge of cultivation, we take what we are full of and squander it, waste it out. Our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. We outflow. And if instead the knowledge of how to cherish the Jing, Qi, Shen, the essence, energy, and breath of the essence, breath, and spirit of our own bodies, if we knew that, we could wake up very quickly. And yet the marketplace world pulls all of that goodness out of us, promising falsely that happiness waits acquiring things outside, which can include relationships, status, pretty sounds, praise, for example, all of which do not pay off, but pull that help us outflow. So that's a Buddhist principle. It's the principle of cultivation. And there are subtle outflows coming from our ears, for example, seeking pleasant sounds and pulling back from unpleasant sounds. And every one of our senses, that's why in the Chan school, they call them thieves, the thieves of our six senses, which plunder our fundamental treasures. So with that knowledge, let's see how this works. Just as true suchness, the mind of nirvana stops outflowing because it has awoken to the real gold within, and it no longer seeks outside for anything. Bodhisattvas are the same way when they dedicate good roots, in that they say, you've got it all yourself already, don't throw it away, pursuing things that do not last. Thereby, and by doing that, they allow us to perfect Bodhi, which has no more outflows. 对的，就是说修行的道理是什么？就是说我们人，我们众生到了这次的生命，这个身体里边都具足圆满这个精气神内在的三宝，我们的佛性都圆满，不会多了，不会添，不会少，不会减。就是因为我们不知道修行，不认识这个真理，所以往外求，有所求，向外去求，把我们圆满的精气神就双修，就丢了，漏了。漏的意思就是这个，从我们的眼、耳、鼻、舌、身、意就往外漏，追求向外之求，追求这些虚假的东西，以为我们得到这个东西就快乐，就高兴，就有是好事。尤其这个热闹的花花绿绿的世界，像一个赌博亭，就说哎来赌博，Lady Luck 这个运气姑娘，她会笑一笑，你会赌上了其实人人都知道了，你就丢了。The house wins， 结果呢很忧愁，甚至于就到了这个无常来了，就又到这个六道轮回再传。那么修行的真理是说我们什么时候知道爱惜内在的圆满具足圆满的这个内在的三宝精气神能修成了菩提，就在那里所以就是这个道理。漏就是说那个 向外去求。菩萨呢，他们就说，他们会向功德，就会令一切众生成就佛法的智慧，了达于法圆满菩提无漏的功德，那就是真的有智慧。Okay, it's a question of direction, seeking outside, knowing to turn it back inside. 譬如真如无有少法而能坏乱，令其少分非是觉悟，善根回向亦复如是，普令开悟一切诸法，其心无量，周遍法界。哇哦，这是很多成分。Just as true suchness cannot be disturbed by the slightest thing, so that not even its smallest part is unawakened. Whew, what an image. Neither can Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots, in that dedication leads everyone to awaken to all phenomenon and to attain the boundless mind that pervades the Dharma realm. Just as true suchness abandons, let's see here, just as true suchness has not even the slightest thing that can so damage or disturb it that it could become even slightly unenlightened, so too it is with the dedication of roots of goodness of the Bodhisattvas, for they everywhere enable beings to awaken to all dharmas with a measureless mind that pervades the Dharma realm. Right. True suchness has not the smallest part that is unawakened. It's not 75% over there and 25% over here and 100% somewhere else. Every bit of it, it's just like water. There's no single drop of water that is more wet than any other. They're equally wet. The tiniest part and the biggest part of true suchness are all awake. 就像水怎么样？你有小小的一个汤勺，那么多水，小小的，它一样湿，就跟大海一样湿，没有一滴水，就说不那么湿，一样的 damp。OK， 那么真如就是这样子的。你不是说那边是25%的真如，那边75%的真如，这里100分，不是。你无论多大的一块啊，一滴真如一样了，100分开悟了啊，正我。Okay, another one. These are getting very complex as we go to the end. 譬如真如过去非实，未来非末，现在非义，善根回向亦复如是，为一切众生心心恒起菩提心愿，普施清净，永离生死。Just as true suchness is without beginning in the past or ending in the future, is unchanging in the present, so too are Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots, in that they constantly reaffirm their Bodhi resolve for the sake of all living beings, enabling all to be purified and forever liberated from birth and death. Key phrase is reaffirm Bodhi resolve for the sake of others. Okay, here's the idea. It's that Bodhisattvas, as they dedicate good roots, value this Bodhi resolve highest, more than other things, because why? It's the compass. That's the direction they're going. And when you're traveling, sometimes the road twists and turns, and it's easy to forget where you were heading as the road turns, and now you're in a valley, now you're on a mountain peak, now you have to delay because the road is blocked, etc. And you have to keep checking your compass to make sure that you're heading the right way. And the Bodhi resolve is that. So bodhisattvas, when they dedicate merit, are steadily, constantly checking their direction so that, let's say, you're working for a company that you're okay with, and they promise you a promotion if only you will compromise your values, if only you do something slightly illegal. What do? Do you check your direction? Do you check your 宗旨, your creed, before you accept that promotion? It promises a reward of more money. All you have to do is sell a small piece of your soul to do it. A bodhisattva would, the values would be, no, I got to keep my 宗旨, my compass heading correct. Otherwise, even though I might get an upgrade in fanciness with the car that I drive and the clothes that I can wear and the kind of drinks I can afford, but when you go down the road in a year or two, you realize you're lost. Yeah. So bodhisattvas, as they dedicate merit, are always checking to make sure that their direction is right on. What's the best way to do it? Shifu gave us the tools. He said 6 guidelines. The 6 guidelines are constantly checking. Is there contention in this? If so, going to leave me afflicted down the road. I would rather yield, let you fight it out. I'm content, right? Etc. etc. 这个很重要。那个重要的哪一句？为一切众生心心恒起菩提心愿。你看这个菩提心愿是上一个指南针我现在愿意往南边走，那个是正南边。我这条路呢，弯弯曲曲的一条路，不是一致，结果呢，必须要看我的指南，还是回去南方的方向，是不是？我是不是还是向我的目的地了去向前进啊？如果那个你不这样的话，那个我们一直走那个马路就会弯弯曲曲，在山上，在山谷，在山顶，在山谷，或者往左往右，你不小心，你不常常把那个指南看那个地图了你就恐怕走了，虽然速度快，可是你就迷失方向，错了，走错路了怎么说呢？你上班，这个老板来，或是这个董事来，就说，你的薪水我们可以给你多一点，你就接受这个工作，不要告诉人，就是稍微，你懂吗？不要问你可以，我们会不怕你的薪水会增长，可是你可能不可以告诉人是什么呢？虽然有薪水，有这些真实的这种钱来了多一点，可是呢，你的宗旨都会违背，你都会做这个不道德的事，那你接受不接受？如果你接受的话，可以钱可以赚多一点，可是呢，你不敢看镜子里边的面孔就说怎么说有愧于天是不是？就说有愧于上天那么再过1年，再过2年，虽然你开的汽车开的比较之前，你穿的衣服穿的比较好，你喝的东西可能2年前你买不起的，可是呢，你的灵魂就给卖 去了，你真的是不敢看自己的脸，那是不值得。菩萨他就才不这样做。我们人怎么知道是不是应该不应该接受这种发展？你就把这个六大宗旨，如果这个情形有真心在那儿，你可以慢一步，因为你如果接受，恐怕将来都会生了烦恼了。有没有贪心、求心、自私自利、妄语的心在内？如果有的话，可以慢一步，不一定要接受。以前的薪水够了，可是为什么呢？因为我们的宗旨，我们为人，我们的道德就圆满，没有违背了没有影子，还一样正大光明光明大道。所以这是意思就在这里，为一切众生心心恒起菩提心愿。菩萨他常常看他发的菩提心，就因为这是他的指南如果是还是跟着呢，那就可以了So the Bodhisattva is constantly checking his original Bodhi resolve on behalf of all living beings. This is a wonderful phrase here. For all living beings, new, always checking his Bodhi mind vow, making it pure and free from birth and death, enabling all to be purified and liberated from birth and death. That's a really, really powerful vow, isn't it? So what does he say? Just as true suchness has no beginning point in the past, no end in the future, and no difference in the present, so too it is with dedications of roots of goodness, which, for beings, constantly instigate the ever-renewed arising of the vow to attain Bodhi. Look at that. Constantly instigate the ever-renewed arising of the vow to attain Bodhi, thereby everywhere enabling purification and the eternal transcendence of samsara. Wow. Very cool. Okay, more. Keep moving here. Almost done. There we go. 譬如真如与三世中无所分别，善根回向亦复如是。现在念念心常觉悟，过去未来皆悉清净。Just as true suchness is non-discriminating throughout the 3 periods of time, so too are Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots, in that the present mind, in thought after thought, is always awakened, and the past and the future are completely pure. You might wonder, how do you make the past and the future pure? Sounds impossible. What you say is, take pure as a verb, ing, so that you are purifying your thoughts of your memories of the past and your projections into the future. What are you purifying them of? Self. You're not constantly hashing over mistakes you made and things that you want to get even with, and you're also not looking forward to opportunities to score in the future or to get back at somebody who harmed you. You can get it even with them, and none of that. It's like there's no hitting the abacus, the calculator, hoping for a better outcome and regretting the mistakes in the past. Okay, so instead, in the present mind, thought after thought is always awakened to the fullness of potential. And past karmic habits may drag us or push us or blow us in one direction, but there is free will in this moment. That's, one of philosophy's eternal questions. Does free will exist? In the Buddha Dharma, absolutely, it does. But the wind of past habits is strong. What is the criteria for reaching free will? Samadhi. If we can hold our mind calm and peaceful and pure in the moment. Then as the wind of habit blows us in the same old direction, or fears push us away from what we know to be true, then we can catch it and go, yeah, nah, they say here in Australia, yeah, nah, not going to go there. I'm going to sit right here at home with myself in samadhi and be content and then dedicate merit to all living beings. 这个很重要啊，这个我们到最后这几个愿力譬如真如非常有用的哈，对我们每天的修行啊，就说譬如真如在过去现在未来无所分别啊，时间变成一块一位，上个人会像一夫如是，菩萨会相功德一样了。现在念念心常觉悟啊，就说当下一念心，过去未来世界清净。你可以问你怎么会清净过去？你怎么会清净未来呢？意思是说，在心里有 free will。Okay, next question. 保持道者不欲饮。OK， 保持道者不欲饮。好的，那就有用了哈。Okay, I got another one. For my consultants, how do you say 过去未来世界清 I just lost my train here. 过去未来世界清净。How do you say I'll think of it. 我就在翻译这个，就说菩萨他保持正念。我问怎么会清净过去？怎么会清净未来呢？这个是做不到的啊。意思是说，心里这个清净是说什么呢？就是一个动词啊，你就把这个我相、我见、我念，不要用它在过去，就在提得起，就是哎呀，那我怎么会这样子呢？或者哎呀，他怎么会这样子呢？哎呀，受不了啊，丢人了啊！等我下有机会一定会报仇。他受不了我这个拳头，不会这样子。你就把这个我相我见不要放在过去，再提，再回忆，就说然后呢，未来不会打算盘，说哎，将来我一定会算账，就不会这样子哈。那么就在当下一念知道这一念心就是有万能的机会现前啊。那么用什么能这样子现念心现在念心常觉悟呢？你就用三昧，你的定力啊。I know what I was looking for. Free will. What is the Chinese phrase for free will? That's what I'm looking for. Can somebody fill in with the philosophical term in Chinese, free will? 哲学家常常就说争论，就说 free will 存在不存在，有没有这么一回事 ？free will 有，佛教承认有 free will. Here is 自由意志，心有意，自由意志。好的 ，OK， 自由意志，对，是 free willpower， 自由意志。有没有这个全球所有的哲学家东方西方一样的，就是说这个自由意志存在不存在？那么佛教呢有什么看法？有，一定有。就是说命运不存在，没有这个命运。命运是什么？佛教就说习气，就说业风，那就是命运。是什么呢？ 其实这就是如果我们今天我们这个灵魂今天出生的话，那我们没有恶业，没有善业，那就什么都可以的。这个不必没有什么风吹你往东边，风吹你往西边，没有了啊。那个就叫自由意志 （free will）。我们因为不是今天出生的，我们是生生世世就积累就是把这个善恶业就写到我们的账目上。所以怎么办呢？就说有定力啊，这个妄念不起，妄念不起。结果呢，你可以观想这个真如这个心地啊，那个时候夜风不会吹你啊，你可以跟着你的菩萨愿、你的菩提愿觉悟了。那个时候，a million opportunities， 所有的机会，你愿意走哪一条路就可以了。OK，so 那就是说过去、未来、世界清净，把这个我相、我见不放在过去，不放在未来、前途了。Okay, so yeah, got into trying to explain free will in a philosophical way. Does Buddhism affirm free will? Absolutely does. And what has to yield if we affirm free will? Fate, destiny, and luck. None of those things truly exist from the Buddhist point of view. What does exist is habit, the power of habit, and past karma, which is debts that we have unresolved. If we were born fresh today and our souls, our eighth consciousness, were empty of seeds of past behavior and habits, then certainly every opportunity would appear 360 degrees and we could do anything. The problem is, this is not our first embodiment. It's not our first life, nor will it be our last. And the power of habit, which is another name for karma, is at work. We call it the name fate or luck. It's not that way. How do we know? Samadhi. When you calm your mind to the place where false thoughts no longer arise, my goodness, at that point, as a thought rises, we can decide decisively on the spot and say, that's affliction-free, I'll do it. That's a wholesome thought. I can help people with that. That accomplishes my vows. So the difference between bodhisattvas coming because of the power of vows by choice, and we living beings who are blown here by the wind of our habits and karma. So that's the difference. So bodhisattvas are in that present moment where their minds are always awake. Two more, look at that. Hubba hubba. Here we go. 譬如真如成就一切诸佛菩萨善根回向，亦复如是，发起一切大愿方便，成就诸佛广大智慧。Just as true suchness brings all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to perfection, so too do Bodhisattvas' dedication of good roots, in that they bring forth great vows and employ skillful means to realize the Buddha's vast wisdom. Indeed, they do. Just as true suchness brings about the complete perfection of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, so too it is with their dedication of roots of goodness, for they enable the arising of all great vows and skillful means, as well as the complete realization of the vast wisdom of all Buddhas. Okay, I realize that I failed to read Heng Shure's version of this one. He said, just as true suchness has nothing that it discriminates anywhere in the three periods of time, so too it is with Bodhisattva's dedication of roots of goodness. For in each successive mind moment of the present, the mind is always awakened, and in the past and the future, it is pure. Okay. I think it is purifying. It is removing the view of self from our memories of the past and our projections into the future. I think that's how it works. Okay. Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots bring forth great vows and employ skillful means to realize the Buddha's vast wisdom. Indeed, 就是这样子呢。这个菩萨会上功德，发起一切大愿方便，成就诸佛广大智慧 in each living being. Correct. Last one. We've been at this for weeks and weeks. Here we go. 譬如真如究竟清净，不与一切诸烦恼俱。上根回向，亦复如是，能灭一切众生烦恼，圆满一切清净智慧。Beautiful. Just as true suchness is absolutely pure and not associated with any afflictions, so too are Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots, in that it can eradicate beings' afflictions and bring to perfection all kinds of pure wisdom. Just as true suchness is ultimately pure and doesn't coexist with any afflictions, so too it is with the Bodhisattva's dedications of roots of goodness, for they are able to extinguish beings' afflictions and bring about the perfect fulfillment of all forms of pure wisdom. Okay, let's do a revisiting of how these 100 vows have been built. Remember how it went? It's a double analogy. It says one analogy is allowing us to understand true suchness. So it gives us a picture, because true suchness is one of those things that is inconceivable. Like fish to water, like water to fish. Fish don't know they're in the water, it says, although who knows what fish think. That's the way they talk about it. They're in the water entirely. Like we can't imagine life without air, even on a spacecraft. We need air to breathe. So likewise, that's that way. True suchness is that way. You can't really know it, but we're in it. Just like true suchness, what is one thing? The second analogy is Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots is the same way in that it is da 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 da. So we got two analogies. We need to understand two things. What is true suchness? What is it like when Bodhisattvas dedicate good roots? That's how these last 100 phases, 100 phrases from the eighth transference has worked. 这个第八回向呢，譬如真如，这个有两个比喻。第一个比喻是说真如是这么一回事，因为真如，想不到的，这是不可思议的一个真相，不可思议的真理。它是不同的名字，也可以用涅槃，也可以用菩提心，也可以用就说法性，那个佛性，怎么一回事呢？语言思想达不到，超过语言思想的能力，可以用比喻来指出，把我们离我们近的东西，我所了解的，可以了解比较远的东西了，是这样子。这是第一个比喻。第二个比喻就是说，菩萨回向功德也是一样的，所以100个愿就是类似。Okay, so it's again, because true suchness is one of those ineffable things, we use something close to understand something far. That's what an analogy does. That's the first analogy. The second analogy says bodhisattvas dedicating their merit and virtues the same way, their good roots. So we have to understand two analogies to get the power of this construction in the eighth transference. This one says, what is it? True suchness, which is what? Another name for the Buddha nature, another name for Dharma nature, another name for nirvana, another name for Bodhi. It says, true suchness is absolutely pure. It's not associated with afflictions. Right. It's like space. It contains everything. There's nothing that is not contained. Bodhisattvas, when they dedicate good roots, are the same way, which is what? That dedication can eradicate living beings' afflictions and make perfect pure wisdom. That's a great resolve to make. It's a great reason to dedicate good roots. Okay. 好的. All right. We will next week from the United States. I will continue right here. We have 10, there are 10 phrases which then lead to the summary followed by verses. Yeah, we got a little bit to go, and then we get to the 8 transference verses. Okay, 我们快把这个长弘结束了，就有这个重诵再来。What's next? What's next is Master Shenzang. Going north, 从此西北行200里，至解若居舍国，汤眼曲女城，中印度是哪里呢？这里。There, right here. Kanyak Kubja, it's called. And here is New Delhi. Right there, Kanauj, it's called. This is where Master Empty Cloud, Master Shenzang is now. Now, just I want to show everybody, which is this? This is Nalanda. This is his destination. He is this close. He is here. Used to be called Kanyak Kubja, was the name of where he's heading. It's Kanauj. It's here. He is heading, look how close. Here is Patna. New Delhi is up here. Nepal, Kathmandu is here, right? So he is not far from his destination. 玄奘大师呢，他的究竟的目的呢是那兰陀大学，就这边。他现在我们讲到 Kanyak Kubja 在这里，不远啊。这个是 New Delhi 啊，这个是 Lucknow。Okay, get the idea? Going northwest for 200 li, the master reached Kanyak Kubja. This country was 4,000 li in circuit. The capital was more than 20 li long, 4 and 5 li wide, bordered by the Ganges in the west. Okay, one more time. One more time. There you are. Look at this little country, little space now. And here's the Ganges. Ganges River is here. This is Kanauj, present day. As we, 这是现在的 Kanauj, 这个 Kanyak Kubja. 玄奘大师走过，这是恒河，这里靠近。Okay, everybody get the sense of it? Here we are. Here's Lucknow. Last week we were here. Sankisa, as he passed through. Okay. There were 100 monasteries with 10,000 monks who studied the Mahayana and Theravada teachings. 就说郭州4000里，都城西林境茄河，那个恒河哈，长20余里，广5、6里。伽蓝白玉所100个道场，僧徒10000余人，有1万那么多出家众，提度陪袈裟。 大小巨学就是 Theravada Mahayana 汉传，还有大乘、小乘。就说其王废舍总也，自合理沙梵旦那，唐言喜增，父子波罗揭罗法旦那，就说作僧。先宗自恶罗舍法旦那，唐言王增。喜增在位人死，国人称勇。There were 100 monasteries with 10,000 monks studying both Theravada Mahayana. The king was a Vaishya. That's the warrior caste. His name was Harsha Vardhana, whose father was Prabhakara Vardhana and his elder brother Raja Vardhana. So Harsha, Prabha, and Raja. Harsha Vardhana was a benign king, and the people of the country praised him. Okay? All right. 时东印度杰罗拿苏法拉那金尔国和舍上家王叫同上一样了，金尔恶其名略而为临患，乃诱而害之。At the time, there was a king whose name was Sasanka in the country in the east, in a place called Karnasuvarna. Okay, Karnasuvarna. He was jealous of Rajavardhana's political ability and saw him as a dangerous neighbor and then treacherously murdered him. This is the elder brother of Harsha, the king. So the king Rajavardhana was murdered by an evil king in the neighboring country. 大臣婆尼较明了，及群僚等，悲苍圣之无主，共立其地，施罗阿迭多，同成宗庙。王兄资秀杰，算略宏远，得动天地，易感人神，虽能血报凶仇，牢笼印度，为风所及，礼教所沾，无不归德。Okay, wow, lots of stuff. Chief Minister Bani and his colleagues lamented the loss of their king and then put the king's younger brother, Shiladitya, to succeed him. The new king was a man of heroic character and had great administrative abilities. His virtue moved heaven and earth, and his righteousness influenced men and gods. He could take revenge for his brother and rule over India. He conquered all the countries which his military strength and political influence could reach. Okay. So, oh my goodness, Shiladitya, this new king, was a big deal. He was really special, and Master Xuanzang is going to experience a lot with King Shiladitya, which king is impressed by Master Xuanzang, and we'll get there, but the two of them are quite a pair. 就说这个希拉迪迦叫施罗阿迭多，他是非常有德行的一个国王，一个领袖。他呢，因为跟玄奘大师非常有缘了，所以等一等我们会听到他们两位的缘分，他们的关系就值得大家注意。Okay, what was Shiladitya like? 天下既定，黎庶思安，于是即无讨歌。Let's see. Here we go. I'm going to next week. We're going to get these last couple paragraphs and then move on to our next pass. But I wanted to take a minute here. Buddha's birthday, that time of the year. And what do we say? 这是佛丹呢， 我们下个礼拜再继续研究玄奘大师啊，就说 Upon the earth, below the sky, the Buddha has no peer. In 10 directions everywhere, he is beyond compare. He's gone beyond duality. He's never born again. With wisdom bright, he blesses me. He knows my joy and pain. He walked the noble middle way with strength and purity. In dark of night, in light of day, his kindness touches me. He's not divine, but he's awake. He's neither come nor gone. I find him in each blade of grass. He is the wisdom sun. I've looked throughout this whole wide world, and now I can declare, you'll never find a wiser one than Buddha anywhere. You'll never find a wiser one than Buddha anywhere. 天上天下无如佛，十方世界亦无比。我今let's see here, let's continue here. 他已经离开二法，再不受生。他的光明的智慧祝福我们，他知道我们受的快乐和痛苦。他是走进这个正道，那个中道了义，用清净的力量、清净的势力，在黑暗的晚间，在光明的白天，他的慈心感动我。他不是天人，他是觉悟的人，他也不来，他也不去，在每一根草他就做智慧的太阳。这个全世界我走绕找人，我现在可以说像佛陀第二个找不到像佛陀这么大智慧，第二个人也找不到。Okay, that's our praise the Buddha. Upon the earth, below the sky, the Buddha has no peer. In 10 directions, everywhere, he is beyond compare. I've searched around this whole wide world, and now I can declare, you'll never find a wiser one than Buddha anywhere. You'll never find a wiser one than Buddha anywhere. May it be so. Okay, dedication of merit time. We can put in our understanding of the Avatamsaka Bodhisattvas, put it to work, put it to use, practice it, dedicate ourselves. Here we go. May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate before we end, we can bow to the Buddhas. Invite you to join me. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. Am.noon. See you all next week. Am.noon. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, 法師。
Am.noon.